Salut tout le monde, just kidding, it's not gonna be French. It's been a while since I last updated my vlog, so this is gonna be the first. It's gonna be the first vlog of 2022, so super pumped about it. I just got my new MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip, and I just bought the Final Cut Pro as well, so I think this is going to tremendously help me in terms of, my editing game. So it's gonna be great. Seattle in the middle of winter is just so sad and gloomy. It's crazy to think about it because, it gets dark at 4 p.m. before you even finish work, and there is nothing to do because it's cold, depressing. And it seems like skiing is what everyone is doing to combat boredom at this times. At first, I never really understood the appeal of skiing or any other form of sports for that matter. It just sounded so funny to me that people can be so very obsessed with, sliding downhill with wonky boots and skis while falling, tripping, and tumbling over and over and over again. And also with some degree of acrophobia, which is the fear of height. I could never expect myself to be even remotely interested in trying out this sport at all. But then again, I still did. Mainly because of the post-vacation syndrome that I had coming back from a trip to Hawaii back in 2020. And so I flew back feeling extremely under the weather during the height of the Seattle gloom. And now with the Beijing Winter Olympics and everything, it seems like skiing and a bunch of other snow sports have become all the rage all over again. So that's the topic today. Let's talk about skiing. Skiing to me is all about conquering the innate fear of falling and uncontrollable acceleration. I still remember my first time learning to ski with my friends, and we were at a green run, which is supposed to be the easiest, a green run at the Crystal Resort, which could really just be a blue run in all honesty. It's super steep, to me at least at that time. I took a quick glimpse downhill from the edge, and I was instantly filled with fear. And I was like, there is no bloody way I'm going down this hill. I'm gonna die. The thing about skiing though is that once you take that leap of faith to go forward, there is no coming back. So ultimately it's the combination of the curiosity for the thrill and also the fear of embarrassing myself in front of my friends that really gave me that ultimate push and made me go, heck with it. Let's just do it and see how bad it can be. So then I basically half closed my eyes and I just lunged forward and experienced the full extent of uncontrolled acceleration for like 3 to 5 seconds. Maybe less than that. I don't know. Time basically slows down when you're in this sort of moment, right? And then I was like swoosh to the left immediately, trying to stop myself, but I couldn't. So I was like sliding parallel to the hill for a very, very extended amount of time. And then I eventually finally stopped myself and I was like, oh gosh, my hamstring and my back hurt so much. But so far so good, I'm still alive. I survived my first push downhill. And then in the next 20 minutes or so, my friends circled me to escort me downhill while I fell and spun around maybe more than 1 million times. It's pretty funny. I think after all those experiences, I realized that it's really just the psychological fear that is what I really had to fight against. So basically with more and more practice comes the ability to control your emotion, control your psychological fear before rushing down a relatively steep 24-degree hill. Yes, you've heard of that right. It doesn't sound like much, but 24 degrees, it's a blue run alright. I used to overestimate the slope angle as well. When I first crept over the edge, leaned forward and looked straight down to that swath of white snow right below me, right below the cliff. I'm like, that's very steep. Since it's really hard to sweep all different varieties of terrains under the broad categories of green, blue, and black runs, or sometimes red runs if you're in Europe. So I typically gauge the difficulty of the runs that I'm on based on 3 parameters. The first one is the slope angle, how steep it is. Second thing that I look at is the snow condition, whether it's icy or powdery. Recently it hasn't snowed much yet, so it's super icy and it's difficult because it's really hard to carve into the snow with your ski. So that's the second thing. And the third and the last thing is how many moguls I've encountered in the path downhill, because I'm still very bad at running moguls. I started at about 12-ish degrees, which is a relatively easy green run, and then I slowly inched towards a 25-degree hill, which doesn't sound like much number-wise, but when you're at the other end of a 25-degree dive, you'll think very differently, trust me. So the thing that I really enjoy about skiing really is this very clear-cut feedback loop. You know your posture and the center of gravity are probably off if you fall a lot or if you feel sore at the wrong place, like say for example your back hurts. And then on the flip side, you know you're making concrete, albeit incremental progress or improvements in your skills once you hit steeper slopes, longer slopes, higher max speeds, carve the snow like more smoothly, or navigate the moguls a lot more elegantly. And FYI, this is definitely not me yet. Currently, I'm at the level where I can elegantly crash into moguls, but it takes me a while to get out of it. But all in all, with all this very clear-cut feedback loop, it's like playing a game with very specific and concrete and incremental reward system. You're always rewarded with some sense of accomplishment as you improve over time. You know, even just tiny little bit of things, right? This feels very awesome, especially in the era of COVID, which is a time when I really hardly even feel any super strong emotions at all. And I think skiing it's a healthy thing. It's not just like physically healthy, but I think mentally it's helping me as well. So skiing in a way gave me this sense of thrill in life and a sense of achievement at the same time, both of which I really hardly ever get these days at home. This might be a very abrupt transition into a deeper topic of self-reflection, but I guess it might also explain why it is such a popular sport that people do these days. I'm sure it's not just because people like sliding downhill, it's probably a little bit more than that. Oh, and before I forget, another perk of skiing is the spectacular view that you get of the expansive mountain ranges, lakes, the expressive sky, and all of the natural beauty that I can never get tired of, honestly. It's great. I can stare at it the whole day, which is what I do when I ski, you know? Whether you're on a lift or you're skiing downhill, you're looking at mountains and everything, it's just fantastic view. It's awesome. It often reminds me of Switzerland, which is a place that I really love a lot, as I'm stuck now in the US due to COVID, visa restrictions, travel restrictions, and the geopolitical reality of the world today. I think this is an awesome opportunity to escape my mundane life and pretend I'm in Switzerland, experience nature in all its beauty. Yeah, I can't believe I'm making a vlog about skiing today, but I do have to say that I do enjoy it quite a bit. Again, thank you so much for watching. That's all I have to say for today, okay? I'm learning Spanish, so I should say adios, adios, hasta pronto, amigos. Bye-bye.